We interrupt for this breaking news.
We interrupt your regular scheduled program to bring you breaking news. Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Live in the studios of Charm City Direct TV. Now, here's your host, E-Digga.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is E-Digga, and this is breaking news live coming from reporting from Baltimore. The incident happened in New York City. Just received word on social media that this is the third person that sustained serious injuries on a New York subway or train area. As many of you know, the first person was a female. She was burnt alive in the train. They burnt her severely in the train. Not too long ago, I would say 2 weeks after that incident in New York City, in the subway, there was another young man, 56 years old, that was burnt or set afire in a New York subway station. And here we are today, New Year's Eve, with another report in New York City in a subway station or train area or train center, who was thrown from the platform onto the tracks into a moving train. I do have the video. I must warn you that this video is graphic and viewer discretion is advised. I'm going to take you to that video right now. And like I said, I am warning everyone that this video is graphic and viewer discretion is advised.
Disturbing surveillance video showing a victim described by police as 45 years old standing on the platform when a man in a blue hooded jacket comes in from the left side of the screen. With no apparent warning, he pushes the man just as the train pulls in. We spoke to a woman who says she saw everything, talking to us exclusively on the condition we not show her face.
It was pretty horrible. I'm okay now.
Was he pushed right in front of a moving train?
Right at the last second, right in front of the train. Just shoved right in front of the train.
Police say they caught a man they are calling a person of interest.
The older man who was pushed just walked slowly right onto the platform, perfect timing. The other man who pushed him was just walking slowly towards him and shoved him the last second.
And we talked to police about that person of interest, and we were told that that man is 23 years old. Now the victim, 45 years old, remains hospitalized in critical.
So as you saw the video, the young man who is 42 years of age, the person who apparently pushed him is 23 years of age. Now, I'm going to dig a little deeper if I can, and shout out to my good friend who lives in New York, Bro Mike. You've seen him. Actually, his show, Barbershop and Mike's, was a part of Charm City Direct TV for a significant time. We was talking about this situation briefly when the second person was burnt, the young lady that was burnt. Um, and then, like I said, just a few minutes ago, I was surfing the web and I saw this, and I saw this incident. You know, I'm gonna take a stab at this. I do not live in New York. Never lived in New York. We've traveled. My wife and we traveled to New York significantly back and forth. And I'm not familiar. I am nowhere familiar with the train system in New York. I've seen stories, I've heard stories about the train system in New York. Um, and what's up, bro? Speak of the devil, bro. Mike is here. And I wish you could come on to talk about this situation. I'll be happy if you could come on. Uh, if I can send you a link, um, I can send you a link. If you can give me your email address, uh, and now I won't be able to send it to your phone. That's the thing. But I would love for you to come on to talk about this. Um, so like I said, I so I'm gonna take a stab at this. Um, okay, bro, Mike, give me your email address right quick if you can, so I can bring you on to talk about this. Um, so I'm gonna take a stab at this, people. And this is what me and my wife was talking about. Seeing the first person that was burnt on the train in New York, because this is kind of concerning. Not just now, by it being New Year's Eve, because this is definitely an ongoing thing. All right, bro, Mike. Let me see if I can get that email out to you. So hold tight. Um, so I'm gonna take a stab at this and say that, and I hope that I do not jump to conclusions when I say this, but this is like the third time that this has happened. And the apparent people who are involved are young kids between the ages of 20 to 23. Could this be some form um could this be some form of gang violence or gang initiation? You know, I looking at this, um and how frequent it um is this some form of gang initiation? So that is the question. Is this some form of gang initiation? How frequent it is, how often it is pretty much in the same place. Like I said, I've never lived in New York. And like I said, I'm gonna send this email to Bro Mike and see if he could come on and join me. Um, but it, you know, it kind of sounds like gang initiation. Gang initiation. You're trying to get into a gang. Here's what you need to do, because of the number of times this has happened. Same setting. And that's why, a lot of times I tell people, uh, be aware of your surroundings. Be very aware of your surroundings, because and bro Mike, I just sent it to your email. So when I'm traveling, when I used to travel to work, uh I was so very cautious. I was looking around. I was seeing who was on the side of me, who was in the back of me, who was on the um if it is, it's crazy that these kids are doing this. What's up, cuz? It is crazy that these kids are doing this, crowded areas, phones and cameras. Yes. So I'm going to bring in Bro Mike in a minute, but I just wanted to say this: be very cautious. Be very cautious in your travels. Like when you're walking around, and when you're walking, and I'm not just speaking on myself, for everybody, especially older people, because they're targeting. Well, if I could say this, and if I'm correct, they're targeting older people, and I want people to understand, you know, be very cautious in your surroundings when you're walking, when you're standing around, when you're talking to someone, just make sure that you know nobody is standing on the side of you, nobody is walking back and forth from you, or I don't like to have my back towards uh like if I'm standing on the train, because there's plenty of times that I stood on the train. I don't like to have my back towards the train. You see what I'm saying? I kind of move back, or I kind of sit down, and that's just for me, because the risk of me standing there not knowing where I am, or not knowing what my surroundings, or who in the back of you and who on the side of you, that is very detrimental, that someone can easily, and if y'all saw the video, he walked right behind the person and pushed him, and that person was not paying attention. He had his mind on something else. He was waiting for the train, and things of that nature. Yes, Nakia, travel, schools, and work. Schools, like, little kids, when they going off to school, or teenagers for that matter, they on their phones and not concentrating on, on where they going. So I'm gonna bring in Bro Mike. This is my good friend Bro Mike from New York, and we have been chopping it up for a minute. What's up, Bro Mike?
All right, all right. What's going on, my guy?
Hey man, welcome to the show. This is
Right.
Breaking News Live. Just saw a video in my search,
Mm-hmm.
like I normally do, and me and you had chopped it up uh just recently about the 56-year-old man being
Yes.
burnt. And I don't know what's going on, Mike. Like, you live in New York.
Right.
You live in New York, and I am so glad you're here, because I was hoping that when I went live, you'll pop in and give your input. You lived in New York all your life,
Mm-hmm.
and what's going on. Like, I never lived in New York. I've been to New York several times. I actually like it. Never been on the train system. But I was saying, the how frequent this is going on.
Mm-hmm.
Could this be some form of gang initiation?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I've been living in New York for all my life, and I've been to other cities, and I've even been to Baltimore as well with some
Right.
relatives.
Right.
But to the fact of the matter is that um, I would say, from my experience of knowledge, once they apprehend, they find the person. And if it this is, and not trying to put a target yet, um, of negativity on the migrants, if that is a migrant, then we got something to think about. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Before Trump gets in, because remember, we got a couple of more weeks. What is it? 2 more weeks before Trump gets in
Right.
into office. So the case in point measures would be is for us to extremely, extremely stay vigilant. Watch, keep your eyes open and ears, and as I said on my live, no sleeping. Yeah, I don't care how tired you are from work, and whatever the case, I've even told my daughter, because she works for the city. She said, well, sometimes, like, I'm gonna be tired. I said, no, no, no. Hear the word that I said, no sleeping, because now we're at a highest level now. Our antennas is way past, 15 feet up in the air. You know what I'm saying? Now we're to the point of where this can definitely ignite into conflict. And it's something how you brought that up, because I seen a young guy look like he no more than between 17 or 20, and he's African American, and he says, if I see anybody trying to light somebody up, I'm gonna punch them in the face.
Mm.
Now, this enough is enough of the nonsense. New York has been through and is still currently going through a lot of mayhem.
Yes.
And the last thing we need to hear is somebody getting set on fire, but also this victim being pushed in the subways. Let's all keep a prayer for him and whatnot,
Right.
because it's
Right.
like, I've heard of this happening years ago, where someone wasn't paying attention, and a homeless person had pushed a person in the tracks and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Um, you, you, never stay close to the edge. First of all, you know what I'm saying. Keep your back up against the wall, or either if the platform is like two sided, where there's two trains, stay in the middle. Stay in the middle.
Right.
Some subways only have one track, so keep your back up to the wall as close as possible.
Right.
Because the thing about the matter is that if you're not, you're gonna be a statistic, just like that gentleman is, and he's fighting for his life in that
Right.
hospital.
Right. Now, and before you came on, I had said just that. I said when I used to catch the train in Baltimore, our
Hmm.
subway system is pretty much, I would say, the same.
Okay.
And we have some subway uh platforms or centers. Some have two trains and some have
Hmm.
one, but
Right.
the majority of the trains here in Baltimore, we have two platforms.
Okay.
We have one platform, two trains, two tracks.
Right.
And when I used to catch the train in the subway, we I stand in the middle, or if there was a seat available, I would sit down. And
Right.
even if I was standing up, Mike, I would look around.
Yeah.
I was very vigilant. I was very particular about, who was standing next to me. If a person was like running back and forth, I will try to find somewhere where my back is not to the track, so to speak. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
then I would not get on my phone because how it's set up here, I don't know how it is in New York, but when you go down underground, you can't use your phone. Your phone is cut off. So
The- the-
that internet connection, and they worked on it some years ago. I don't know if it improved because I haven't caught the train here in Baltimore in some years.
mhm.
So when you go down into the subway part where the trains are, your
Mhm.
phone's automatically cut off. Not cut off, but the internet is not working underground. So
Well, I would have to. I'm sorry to butt you in. So I would say somewhat,
right,
because technically, for all the money that we're paying, different prices on these phones and stuff like that, especially the Apple, we're supposed to get service all the way through. But with the Apple, it's like certain stations, like 34th Street, is good. The Underground, 42nd Street, in certain patches, should I say?
right,
You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's like a thing to where it's just like, and I also want to add this method too, to everyone too. If you're coming into New York, or if you're coming off from work, if you drink coffee, drink some coffee to stay up. I don't recommend, just my way of feeling.
mhm,
I don't recommend even taking a doze,
mm,
a snooze, if you will. You know what I mean? Because a lot of stuff is happening, guy. You know what I
mm.
mean? You see it. People from far distance, long distance countries and cities is seeing this. So stay vigilant.
Right. And I said when I saw this, I said, God forbid, one, I'm absolutely praying for the person, actually all three people
Hmm.
right now. But I'm also concerned with the fact that this could lead to other cities, especially in Baltimore,
Mm.
that, they see this and they're like, ooh, some young kid were like, ooh, we need to go to a subway and do this. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that that
Copycats.
that influence has definitely opened.
Yes.
There's room for the dumb idiotic shit that's happening there can
Yeah.
easily come here to Baltimore, because I'm gonna be honest with you, Baltimore is easily influenced. You see what I'm
Oh
saying?
wow.
Once they
Okay.
see, yes, and I said it. I mean, I'm just gonna call it spade to spade. Once they
Yeah. Right.
see,
Right.
right, once they see what's going on in New York, oh, we could do that.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
no problem.
Right.
But I'm saying this, and I mentioned about the phone thing, about how people be on their phones and they could be easily distracted by their phones and forget everything around them. You
Right.
see what I'm
Right.
saying? But
Right.
that's what I was saying about, going down in the underground part and the internet cut off. There's no reason for you to be on your phone if
Yeah.
the internet is cut off. I'm just saying, like, if you just looking at some pictures on your phone or something like
Right.
that, a video
Right.
that you saved, something like that. But if the internet is off,
Right.
there's no reason why you need to be on your phone.
You know, people, if they're not on the phone, then they're falling asleep.
Right.
And I gotta say this for everyone, you know, to reiterate it, like, don't be a Lumminix. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Don't be a Lumminix because you know anybody can be caught as a victim. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And now it's terrible because when you saw that video, you know what I'm saying, Idiga, it there was no cop. Once
The-
again,
Again.
I have my gripe now. I have my beef about the cops and also Curtis Lewa in the Guardian Angels.
Wow.
And I want to smoke. You know, somebody said in the comments, well, they can't always be there all the time. Somebody said, well, why don't you do it? And I said, well, then why don't you come with me?
Right.
Then we can do it. You know what I'm saying? Because by the end of the day, again, rightfully so, this is our taxpayer dollars.
Hmm.
So I mean, this is like a circus, and Trump has not seen the videos of the cops texting, lollygagging, and being like a bunch of luminexes and stuff like that. Though, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I mean, it's lousy.
Now we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. We're gonna talk about uh the visibility of cops, because that was antennas raised up in my head when I
Mhm.
saw the first video.
Yes, sir.
And the first video, and I don't have the first video, and I really don't want to play the first video. The lady who got burnt severely. I mean, her whole body was on fire. And all I saw, well, let me take this quick break. We're gonna come back. This is
Right.
Breaking News Live. I am your host, the man that you all know and love, Eat Nigga, with my homie, my man, Bro Mike. We talking about the incident that just happened. I don't know if it happened today, yesterday, but 56-year-old man get pushed into an incoming train in New York City subway station. We're going to take this quick break. Don't go nowhere. Much more to come. And welcome back to the show. If you're just joining us, Breaking News Live here on Charm City Direct TV. We are talking about in New York City, young man, 56 years old, was pushed from a platform onto an incoming train in the subway. If you did not see that video, here it is. But I must warn you that this video is graphic. Viewer discretion is definitely advised.
Disturbing surveillance video showing a victim described by police as 45 years old standing on the platform when a man in a blue hooded jacket comes in from the left side of the screen. With no apparent warning, he pushes the man just as the train pulls in. We spoke to a woman who says she saw everything, talking to us exclusively on the condition we not show her face.
It was pretty horrible. I'm okay now.
Was he pushed right in front of a moving train?
Right at the last second, right in front of the train. Just shoved right in front of the train.
Police say they caught a man they are calling a person of interest.
The older man who was pushed just walked slowly right onto the platform, perfect timing. The other man who pushed him was just walking slowly towards him and shoved him the last second.
And we talked to police about that person of interest, and we were told that that man is 23 years old. Now the victim, 45 years old, remains hospitalized in critical.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the video of the person that was pushed from a platform onto the tracks on incoming train coming into the station in New York City. Joining me from New York is my guy, Bro Mike. You have seen him numerous of times. We've chopped it up every chance we get. He is the host of Barbershop and Mike's podcast that was once on Charm City Direct TV. Hope to get that show back on Charm City Direct TV. And this is a perfect person to talk to. Like I said, I never lived in New York. I visited numerous times. Love the city. Love the city, and every time when me and my wife used to go, we used to go to Manhattan. We never traveled outside of Manhattan. I guess that was the safe spot for us. We were fortunate to catch a game at Madison Square Garden. We did see Rockefeller Plaza,
Okay.
and numerous sites around New York. But this disturbs me, Mike. This greatly disturbs me on so many levels. And also just to point out, in all of those videos that I saw, even with this one, I did not see now with this one, if we had another angle, another a camera angle, maybe we would have saw police. But the two videos that I've seen of the young lady, the first one, the young lady getting burnt, and the young man getting burnt, we didn't see police presence.
Wait. Well, here's the thing. From looking at the play back to that, there was two police officers that walked by when the woman was being burnt
Right.
and stuff
Okay.
like that. Right.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I take that back. Okay. But here's my thing. With all three of these incidences, my question now is still on police. A stronger police presence, you know.
Hmm.
And also we talked about this years ago here in Baltimore to set up some type of barricade that prevents people from falling over that ledge,
Right.
you know. Uh Maybe it can happen, maybe it can't. Now that is something you had mentioned about taxpayer dollars. I will pay something for that.
Right.
You
Right.
see what I'm
Right.
saying? Just to prevent a person, like
Mm.
if a train is coming in, there's some type of with all of this high tech with all of this high tech gadgetry that we have now, all of this high tech machinery that we have now in this
Mhm.
age, you can't tell me that there is something that we can build that can prevent people from tipping over on those platforms. But that's another show. That's another podcast. But
Mhm.
in this situation, the police presence. Give me your thoughts on that because I know you and I had chopped it up the first time about that, and you had mentioned something about the guardian angels, and
Mhm.
I just want to see a better police presence.
Mhm.
So the and the reason why I say that, and I'm gonna let you speak. The reason why I say that is some of this can be prevented in time. You see what I'm saying? You got a person walking back and forth. They look suspicious. They up to no good. Like I said, when I'm out and I'm traveling, if I'm seeing somebody running up and down the platform or walking into different and that I get antsy. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? I get nervous. That's just me. So my antennas start to rise. My spidey senses go off. You see what I'm saying? So if there was a way for something or someone to be present at all times on these platforms to see that, because if my spidey sense go off, I'm almost certain that somebody else's spidey senses is going off. How can we prevent that? So what
Mhm.
are your thoughts?
Man, well, the thing about the matter is that the again, and what's a cross reference into this mix is politics. You know what I'm saying, and also the financial structure in
Right.
the unions and stuff like that. But politics into the mayor and also the unions. So my thing is this though, right? As I said on my live, that they're bickering about overtime. I say
Mm,
they don't need overtime
mm,
because they make so much money. I've seen them coming off for the 12th shift at 3 a.m.
mm.
You know, it's like a house party or the Breakfast Club or something or College Park, you know, so to speak. So it's like, you know, they need to do their job, yeah, and they're
Right.
not doing it, and
Right.
that's the problem. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? It really looks bad because, and now it's a slap in the face on the cops because it's been three incidents,
Mm,
and if this person who his perk is once he gets caught And if he is a migrant, this is going to be another gutter ball being thrown like in bowling. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? With no strikes.
mm.
Okay, this is going to be very bad on the mayor, and the NYPD needs to be held accountable. When I mentioned about the guardian angels, same thing with them. So what I'm just what your answer, well, what your question is, and I'm gonna answer it. They need to, do their job. That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Just do
Right.
their job. Stay, vigilant and everything. Patrols. Somebody's getting tired. They want to go to the restroom. All right, relief that other cop. Same thing like security. I don't understand. What's the problem? What's the
Right.
problem?
Right. I agree. And also, in closing, I want to say this because we're just a couple of hours away from the new year. Especially in New York right now. I can imagine the crowds, the parties, especially at uh gosh, it's on the tip in Manhattan at Times Square. There are a gazillion people out there just hanging around, just watching the ball or celebrating. Um, I want everybody to also remind people just to be vigilant right now, especially right now during this time. Like I said, it's 9:17 right now here in Baltimore, 9:17 there in New York.
Hmm.
Be vigilant because they are out there. They are out there.
Hmm.
I'm almost certain that the police presence is heightened around this time. But as a person traveling to New York, or if you're already in New York to watch the ball drop, even here in Baltimore, it was raining just a few minutes ago. I'm not sure if it's still raining here in Baltimore. Just be vigilant, especially the inner harbor right now. I'm not
Hmm.
sure if because we normally do fireworks down the inner harbor.
Hmm.
But by its raining, I'm not sure if they still going to do it. But
Hmm.
nevertheless, if you're out and you're traveling, if you're in a crowd of people, be vigilant because especially now, New Year's Eve, they are out there, they are ready. And if you're not cautious, if you're not aware, you can be a target.
Right.
You could be an easy target.
Right.
Stay off of your phones. Get proper sleep. Drink coffee. And another thing before I close, I never. There's two things I never did when I was taking public transportation. I never ran for a bus, and I
Mhm.
never slept on a bus
Right. Right. Right.
because for me, sleeping on a bus, I get lost. And
Yeah.
I have no sense of direction as it is. And I've been living here all 51 years of my life. I
Mhm.
still get lost in my own home city. So going to sleep and waking up like, where the hell have I at?
Right. Right.
So please, please, please be cautious.
Mhm.
Please be vigilant. Please be alert.
Mhm.
Alert. That's the word. I used to tell my son that all the time before he left out. Be
Mhm.
alert. Be cautious. Look aware. Look around you. When you walk in, make sure there's nobody walking in the back of you, on the side of you.
Mhm.
Just be alert.
Yep. I
And
have
also, oh, go ahead.
the two last things I want to say before the new year close and before this year's close into the new year. All right. First of all, the cops need to do their job and everything like that. They're not
Right.
doing it. And the
Right.
second thing is, I kept saying it over and over. Young people, is gonna start turning into Charles Bronson's like vigilantes. All right.
Yeah. 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 Ladies and gentlemen, this is Breaking News Live. I've been your host, the man that you all know and love, E Digger. Joining me, my man, bro Mike. He is the host of Barbershop and Mike's podcast. Make sure you check that out when it drop. Hopefully, it'll be dropping right here on Charm City Direct TV. Stay up to date with more news on this subject, other subjects. Breaking News Live. You've been great as always. And I holler at you when I smile at you. Peace. This has been a presentation of Charm City Direct TV. in association with the Lions Den Media Studio.